Cresce sempre di più l'attenzione degli investitori nei confronti dei mercati emergenti. Nel corso di questa puntata parleremo dei fattori che stanno sorreggendo la crescita di questo settore, ma anche delle minacce e dei rischi ai quali prestare attenzione. Subito dopo la sigla rimanete con noi. Ben ritrovati a questa nuova puntata di Stay Live. Oggi faremo un focus sui mercati emergenti, quindi vado subito a salutare il nostro ospite di oggi. Ho il piacere di avere qui in studio con me Hugo Verdiere, Fund Manager EMD di DPAM. Benvenuto a financiallounge.com.
Thanks for having me here.
Inquadriamo appunto il settore da un punto di vista macro. Quali sono i fattori che secondo te potranno sostenere una strategia di debito nei mercati emergenti?
So we believe that the global economic backdrop is going to be very supportive of EM debt this year. If we look at the IMF projections, the global growth should remain resilient at 3.2% in 2024, like it was last year. But most importantly, the US exceptionalism, by this I mean the fact that the US growth is outperforming the rest of the world, should be fading with some slight softness in the US economic activity, while at the same time we observe a bottoming out in the economic activity from the Euro area or China. And if we look at projections for growth differentials between emerging markets and developed markets, over the next quarter, we see that the next few quarters, we see that this differential should pick up and increase in favor of emerging markets. So on top of this cyclical backdrop, which is supportive of EM currencies, we believe that financing conditions across the globe should be easing this year. If we look at the Fed and after the latest FOMC, actually the pace of quantitative tightening from the Fed is going to slow down starting from June. And also they guided the financial markets that the next move will be most likely a cut, if any. And even if inflation might prove a bit sticky, the bar for rate hikes is very high. So in this context of improved economic backdrop in the emerging markets, economies versus developed markets, and easing financial conditions, we believe that capital should be flowing towards emerging markets this year.
Ecco, abbiamo visto i fattori che stanno determinando l'ascesa di questo mercato. Scendiamo nel dettaglio. Quali sono i paesi, i settori e anche i tipi di emissioni che secondo voi offrono le migliori opportunità in questo momento?
So sure, we believe that the economic context is very important, and we see that there is a global supply chain relocation out of China. And at the same time, the world is embarking on the green energy transition. And in this context, a region like Latin America is standing out, I would say. And we think of countries like Mexico, which is, has the benefit to be close to the biggest consumption market on Earth, namely the United States. But we do also like Brazil, for instance, which is a big economic hub in Latin America. And maybe it benefits also from more distant relationship with the US. But there we see some increased investment and trade relationships with China. In Asia, we do like countries like India and Indonesia, which have a young and growing population, and those are strong domestic growth stories that we do like in the region, for instance.
Ecco, non possiamo non parlare anche dei rischi, delle minacce. Quali sono le principali che intravedete nei mercati emergenti e se ci sono situazioni dal punto di vista finanziario o della sostenibilità che monitorate con più attenzione?
Yeah, regarding the financial risk, we do look at what's going on in China, especially in the real estate sector, and also the commercial real estate sector in the US. and the potential spillover to financial markets and the banking systems, which seem to be contained as we see the exposure limited in the US to regional banks, for instance. On a more medium-term basis, we are quite concerned with the high level of debt and fiscal deficit we observed across the globe. And this is even more true for advanced economies. After the COVID crisis, we have seen very high public spending, and it will be very hard to see those public deficits come down as we see the rise of populism, social tensions after years of inflation, the wealth inequalities we observed in the world. And on top of that, we have the increase in defense spending, of course, and the need to fund the energy transition. On top of that, and I think it will be on the radar for the years to come, for investors, geopolitical risks are very high. And we see conflicts sparking in the Middle East or in Ukraine. And those can have an impact and can derail the global growth and inflation backdrop that we have depicted so far. Via the imposition on tariffs, supply chain disruptions, or via the commodity channel with the increased prices in soft commodities or energy commodities.
Bene, io ringrazio Hugo Verdiere, Fund Manager EMD di DPAM, per questa approfondita analisi sui mercati emergenti. Grazie di essere stato con noi oggi.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Grazie a tutti voi di averci seguiti. Vi do appuntamento al prossimo Stay Live, sempre su financiallounge.com.